I talked about Salat and the importance of Salat. This Salat, which is a very important tool between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has and it had another great influence on the social and political life as well. And the departure, this is the departure point between different schools of Islam that influenced them in very important political, psychological senses as well. At the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Salat is the manifestation of Islam. If you want to see a Muslim, if you want to show yourself as a Muslim, the very thing that you do in practice is Salat. Fasting is in the month of Ramadan. Hajj might be once a year or once in your life. Zakat, when you pay people, they don't see. But Salat is the manifestation. So Salat was very important from the very first day, and there was a great emphasis on this, especially Salatul Jama'a and Salatul Juma. Today, Salatul Juma might not be that much important as it was at the beginning of Islam. You know, there is no, at that time, there is no media, there is no newspaper, there is no TV, there is no parliament, there is no, I don't know, the president's palace. It's masjid. Everything is in the masjid. All the decisions are made in masjid. Masjid is the center. Masjid is everything. All the social, political life is decided in masjid. And in masjid, I said one of the most important things that they did and they used to, especially social political issues, but they're discussing the khutbah of Salatul Juma. So Salatul Juma and Jama'a was very important at that time. The other point is that at that time cities were very small. Today, you know, if you are native South African, when you're walking on Johannesburg streets, you don't know people. Few people you may know. When you go a little bit 5 minutes far from your place, you don't know anyone. But at that time, cities are small, villages are small, people, everybody knows everyone. So when places are small, you should control what you're doing. Here in South Africa, you might come to this center in a specific gesture and shape. You go other places in a different way, and people, they don't know you. But at that time, everybody knows you. You cannot do anything. And when it was the importance, when it was the issue of Salat, everybody were expected to come to Salat. If a person didn't want to come to Salatul Jama'a, it meant that whether he's not a real Muslim or you don't accept the Imam, it meant that you are not in the bay'ah of Imam. It meant that you have a different political approach. Because of that, it could be severely punished if a person didn't want to participate in Salatul Juma and Salatul Jama'a. So it was not only a religious issue, more than religious issue, more than the issue that unites people, it's an act of worship. It was the sign of you being a Muslim, a member of the Ummah. To be absent had very severe consequences. At the time of the Prophet was there. He was the Prophet of Allah. He's ma'soom, and he's a just person. I said Salat with the conditions. Who was going to lead? Who was going to be Imam? At that time, at the time of the Prophet, it is the Prophet himself. Later on, at the time of Shaykhain, the Khulafa, Shaykhain, they used to perform. The third Khalifa Usman, he used to perform Salah. And later on, Imam Ali alayhi salam. These people, Shaykhain, those four Khalifa, at least they practiced the appearance of Islam. If there was any problem, it was not apparent. Apparently, they were Muslims, strict Muslims, observing Islam, the rulings of Islam. So, the condition of Idalah, I said, this condition of being a just person, they couldn't let any other person to be Imam of Salat. Because Imam of Salat was the one who was also the leader of the community. To give Imamah to somebody else, it meant that you are going to give your legitimacy to somebody else. If somebody else was to be Imam of Salat, meant that he has the right to lead the Ummah. You have heard that those our brothers, when they want to prove Khilafah of Abu Bakr, one of the things they appeal to, they say that the Prophet told him to go and perform and to be Imam of Salat while he was sick. So I mean, even though we don't accept the hadith, but anyhow, they say that to be Imam of Salat means that you can be the political leader. So at that time, Imam of Jama'a, Imam of Salat, and political leader, they go together. That's why it couldn't be separated. At the Medina, which is the capital, Khulafa, the Prophet, after the Prophet, Khulafa, they themselves, they used to be Imam. In the other cities, people should be chosen by the Khulafa. And usually they also were people who practiced at least appearance of Islam. Even if a person was wrong in his actions, but they used to show as a good Muslim, to pretend at least to be observing the rules of Islam. The problem begins from the Umayyads. Umayyads coming by Muawiyah. You know, among the Umayyads, we have two people who are very nice among them. One is Muawiyah, the other is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. When I say nice, I mean apparently. Apparently, they used to observe Sharia. You know, when Muawiyah comes, for example, to force people to pay allegiance to Yazid, he comes to Medina, he talks to different people, especially he goes to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and he says that pay allegiance to Yazid. You know, they had a treaty with Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam that after Muawiyah, according to the peace treaty, Imam Hassan should be Khalifa. If Imam Hassan was not alive, Imam Hussein to be the Khalifa. So Yazid, Muawiyah, what he did, that he came to say that no, Allah has decided for Yazid. Another issue that I don't have to go into it is the issue of Qada and Qadar. Things decided by Allah, nobody can change. Muawiyah said Allah has decided for Yazid to be Khalifa. He goes to talk to Imam al-Hussein. Imam Hussein says Yazid is a fasiq, he's an evildoer, he does this and that. Then Muawiyah tells me in front of people that do not backbite, it's haram. Don't backbite. So I mean, at least Muawiyah apparently he used to practice Sharia. When it comes to other Khulafa of Umayyads, they were careless people. They didn't care about anything. They were totally Bedouins. And especially after the conquering of the Rome, Greece, Egypt, Iran, big wealth is coming. This big wealth changed their lifestyle. These people that Quran says, Allah says we used to send on and off these caravans to Mecca, that these people see some little amount of stuff coming and they might be happy to stay there. And now they had wealth after conquering lands that it couldn't be counted. Zubayr, they were people of Sufa when they immigrated to Medina, and now they say, Mas'udi says he had a big palace in Egypt, a big palace in Syria, a big palace in Medina, a big palace in Mecca, more than 1,000 slave women, more than 1,000 horses, more than 1,000 camels. Just imagine how much you need to feed 1,000 slaves. How much you have to have. So this wealth changed their life. Now they wanted to live a luxurious life. That's why actually the problems that began at the time of Osman were not at the time of Abu Bakr and Umar. It is because of the change in the lifestyle that people now they want to enjoy their life. They want to see the other face of the life. Slaves coming from higher civilizations, they were good in dancing, in music, and you see that they changed the things in a sense that Al-Aghani, Abu al-Farash and Al-Aghani, that in Medina they had mixed women and men gatherings, they went to sing and dance, and even he says Fuqaha used to participate in those majalis. Such a corrupt society less than half of a century after the Prophet. So now those Umayyad rulers, they were not exception. They wanted to, they were careless, to drink, to do anywise, to kill, not to care of the Sharia. So one of the things, they did several things, I don't have time to get into the issue of irja, the issue of predestination, and so many things are involved here. So one of the things was that they wanted to have that kind of lifestyle, and at the same time they couldn't let the imamah to go to somebody else. They had to be Imam of Jama'a, Imam of Juma. What should they do? There was a dilemma. To let the salat go, you cannot go, because salat is very important, is the central issue, and it is the support for the political power of the Khalifa. Later on, at the time of Abbasids, Khulafa freed themselves, they permitted others to perform salah. But at the time of Umayyads, still, the ruling was that Khalifa himself should be Imam. So they wanted to follow that luxurious life, careless life, and at the same time they wanted to be Imam of Salat. The only choice they had was to say that Salat is an act, it's a very nice act, but without any condition. So Idalah is not a condition of Imam of Salat. Justice is not a condition. You can perform Salat behind anyone. Then you can perform Salat behind Umayyads flag. Then their fuqaha also they came to justify it. Abdullah bin Umar, he came to say that Salat is a good act, we don't care with whom we are sharing our Salat. Anyone who's performing will perform behind him. So what happened was that they removed the condition of justice and Idalah from the Imam of Salat. And I said Imam was not only Imam of Salat. If I perform Salat here, I'm just Imam of Salat. But at that time he said Imam of Salat is also the Amir, is also the political leader. So if Imam of Salat doesn't need Idalah, justice, Imara also doesn't need justice. Any mischievous person can also be a political leader. Even then they fabricated many hadiths in this regard, ascribing it to Rasulullah that you can perform Salat behind anyone, and it's okay, you should be submissive to the ruler even if he is the most corrupt person. And it became a kind of a principle, an ideology. And then it's not only the matter of Salat, you have to pay your zakat to the very person, who is a mischievous person, evildoer. You could give, you should go Hajj under his command, you should perform Salat behind him, you should go to Jihad by their command, and you should be in full submission to them. And this idea of justifying the Salat behind those corrupt persons and people totally changed the theology, fiqh, and psychology of the other school. Then you see that for 15 centuries this became a heritage that they don't care who is the leader. He is Imam. Even if he is the most corrupt person, they don't have any problem with him. Contrary to Shia that Imam of Salat needed the condition of justice and Idalah, the same as the Imam of the society. That's why for Shia, those Imams, they were Taghut, they were rebels, they were not Imams, because they were not just. And this is the real and main problem they had with Shia. Ali al-Wardi is one of those think tanks. He says that Shia is like a volcano. If you see that it's not active today, but tomorrow it could be active. So do not think that this mountain is like the other mountains. This is a volcano which is inactive today. It can be active tomorrow if they see injustice coming from the rulers. So we see two totally different psychologies were formed. And today you see that, if you look at the world today, you may see that why these people have no problem with all these oppressor rulers. They see in the Muslim world that their amirs, their umara, their rulers are normalizing with Israel, and there is no doubt that Israel is the enemy of Islam, and nobody from the religious, from the scholar, nobody is questioning why. because this is deep in the psychology that it is not our business. No matter who they are the Imams, we follow them. We don't question. And this made, but there was a correction. It was a correction. They used to do corrupt acts against the Sharia. So, as a Muslim, you might be hurt seeing that Umara are doing wild things. Then, in order to satisfy that feeling of Muslims in that school, they had to deviate the mind of people to bid'ah, innovation. For Shia and Mu'tazilites from Sunnis, they used to stand against oppression. So you see, all these political movements against oppression is among Shia and Mu'tazilites. Zayd ibn Ali, son of Imam salam, lots of the Sunni Mu'tazili Sunnis were supported to him. Even Abu Hanifa financially supported him. Yeah, in the movement against Umayyads. But this mainstream Sunni who is Ash'ari thinking, they said, no, we are submissive to rulers, but what about Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy anil Munkar? They say we have to do all Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy anil Munkar against bid'ah, innovations. So you see that you have not heard from your own Shia scholars to talk about bid'ah. Very rarely you may hear bid'ah from Shia scholars, but you hear it from their scholars repeatedly. Bid'ah, this is bid'ah, that is bid'ah, 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 you hear it a lot. And then they, politically, they said, for those khulafa, the threat was Shia and Mu'tazilites. And they came to manage the mind to say that, the most dangerous bid'ah is Shia. They don't believe in Quran, they curse the khulafa, they do this and that. Then they could marginalize Shia. Shia was the one who was talking to Jah for justice. And they were outspoken against the oppressive behavior of the rulers. This mainstream, they kept silent. So they could kick out Shia from the political realm by calling them bid'ah and innovation. And then it gives them justification to ascribe any lie to Shia. You can hurt the name of Shia, the face of Shia, in any way it is okay. So for millions of times you say that Wallahi, Billahi, Tallahi, we believe in Quran, tomorrow they say, oh, Shia doesn't believe it. They have another thought. Why? Not because they don't understand, because they need you as a threat. They need Shia as a bid'ah. Then when their people are going to talk against what's happening in their political areas, they know, keep quiet. There is a danger. We need unity. We have to be together. Shia is a big danger. Iran is a big danger. Be careful. Otherwise they are coming to eat all of us. And how you see a political issue came to change the religious, psychological, theological, jurisprudential understanding of two schools. When they omitted the condition of Idalah from Imam of Salat, it changed dramatically all understanding of these areas.